Good morning. We are the group that is going to be talking about the topic on recycling. So for our interview, we're going to interview Dr. Eddie Sanders. So let's start. For the first question, what is the most significant problem that Zamorano has when it comes to reducing and reusing trash and waste?
I guess the main problem is maybe the consumption side because we are consuming a lot of things, and if we consume a lot, we have also a lot of waste. So I think maybe that's the biggest problem. But at the end, what we can do with that waste is recycle, and recycling is quite challenging in Zamorano.
Mhm. Well, the other question is why recycling is so important for the future generations.
I guess reducing waste is very important for future generations, and by doing recycling, we are reducing waste, and I think that's the main reason. I think that's very important for future generation, especially if we have about waste like kind of plastics or chemicals that can hurt the environment.
So in here we have several containers in which the trash is classified. We have one of the containers is the organic waste. And what do you think is the importance of the organic waste in the agriculture?
I think it's very good that Zamorano started the program to recycle our waste. I don't know if it's very successful or not, but especially recycling organic waste can be very economical. Can have an economical benefit because you can reuse it as fertilizer, but you can also use it as to produce biogas, for example. And so we can use waste to make money. I think that's quite interesting if we do it well.
Well, the other question is do you believe people need to be more educated on the subject of recycling here in Zamorano?
Yes, especially if you look to the waste baskets everywhere. Nobody's recycling. I mean, people always throw everything in one basket, and it's always mixed. It's never classified. I think Zamorano has to start or restart a program to educate people, to inform people about why recycling is so important and how to recycle. I think people don't know how to recycle.
How do you think recycling can benefit the economy?
I think especially in Zamorano, being an ag school, we have a lot of organic waste, and if we can manage and channel all that organic waste to one place, we can produce fertilizers, what they are already doing, and we can produce biogas and energy. I think that there's a big potential in Zamorano.
And also, what are the environmental benefits of recycling?
I think the best, for example, if we analyze, let's say the biodigester, by doing recycling of organic material, we are not throwing all the nitrogen and phosphate to the environment, and that's because it has a real bad impact, negative impact on the environment. So if we recycle, we are, I think, more environmental friendly, and that will hurt less, or we will leave a less larger carbon print than we are doing without recycling.
So Zamorano has implemented some programs of recycling, and we wanted to bring that back. Do you think that recycling method that Zamorano has, do you consider that it has been effective?
It has been in the beginning. I think the first year, of the first 2 years when they started this Eco Zamorano and recycling project was quite successful. But you have to push people, and you have to give a kind of system of monitoring, and so that people are aware that recycling is something. It's not called as recycling actually. It's called classifying waste. The classifying waste is benefit, can give some benefits, and that people have to use together. I think the main problem in Zamorano is that people are not get used to it, to classify the waste, and you have to push that every time. And what they did in the beginning, they pushed it and then let it go. And I think at this moment nobody's classifying the waste.
And what type of activities should be implemented here in Zamorano to make the recycling program more efficient?
I think you have to change behavior and just how do we influence on students' behavior in Zamorano? That has to do with faltas. I don't know if you can introduce a system of faltas, of merits, but maybe you can give some incentives that people start to classify the waste. And there can be especially positive incentives. That's what they did in the beginning. They sent a list with all the households who are recycling, who was classifying the best, and which households and dorms were not doing, whose results were less. So maybe we can do the same again. But I really think it's very important also to explain people why it's important to classify the waste. I mean, people are coming and leaving, and a lot of new people don't know how to classify the waste. So it's explained every year.
So you think that if Zamorano started implementing these recycling campaigns, it would bring positive results back?
Yeah, I guess so, especially. But not only explaining, you need some kind of incentives. So I don't know what kind of incentive. Maybe you can give a premium everything 6 months, 1 year. I don't know what kind of premium, but that will incentive people.
Yeah, and the last one is what is the social economic impact that the recycling programs brings to Zamorano?
I think Zamorano can make some kind of money from recycling, because the products they are recycling, they can sell it, and they have some kind of value. So there's an economic impact. And social, I think we have to be an example in the region, being a green university, and because it's very important to classify waste. So we can have a huge social impact if we're doing it well. And if we are not doing it well, I think we are a bad example.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Ari, and thank you for helping us during this interview.
Okay, you're welcome.